Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And like the good Chunibyo I am, I wear an eye patch over both of my eyes, with the side effect that I don't have to watch anime.
I'm Sean Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Remington, it's good to be back, man. Where did we go?
To
the abyss and back.
Oh god, I'm still not over last week, but I'm gonna try not to dwell.
Don't worry, Rem. I have something completely different for you this week to make up for it.
Alright, I'm not confident yet. I'm still hesitant, but let's hear what you got, Sean.
Well, Remington, what I've got for you is a little bit of a thought experiment.
Okay, I can enjoy a thought experiment.
And for all you intellectuals out there, I mean thought as in thinking. That's a different kind of show if it was the other kind of thought.
Dude, that could be so good. What you do, so you have a podcast or like a Twitch stream, thought experiment, and what you do is you get two strippers who have PhDs in philosophy, and they chat deep philosophy while scantily clad. That's a brilliant idea.
Twitch would never allow it.
Oh, they definitely would. If it got an audience, which it would, they wouldn't give a shit.
So what you're saying, Rem, is we need to go get our PhDs and take some lessons in pole dancing.
Hell yeah, brother. I think that's a brilliant idea. Anyway, as you were away from this $1 million idea, let's hear the thought experiment.
We've copywritten it already. Do not steal. Original.
If it's the trolley problem, I am pushing the fat man onto the thing to save the people. So just establishing that right here and now.
I thought the trolley problem was deciding which track the trolley goes on, rather than...
That's step one of the trolley problem. But one of the main cruxes of the trolley problem is, why is there a difference between pulling the lever to kill one instead of 5 and pushing a fat man to kill him instead of 5? Because many fewer people are willing to push the fat man. But god damn it, it's all the same to me. I'm pushing it.
You're pushing the fat man.
Either way, it's 1 dead instead of 5. That's what I'm choosing.
Needs of the many. I get it. It makes sense, Rem. It makes sense. You fucking monster. But no, Rem, the thought experiment is I'm gonna describe something to you like I do on this show, and I just want you to describe what you think would go through your head if this was you. So say I'm a big anime studio, and it's like the early 2000s.
All right, okay.
And anime is starting to get really popular stateside, and you'd like to make use of your studio to make this to make more anime stateside with new dubs and all that jazz, so that you could have make a bit of money and bring some more of the culture to the States.
Right now, I feel like this might go like a good old like Funimation terrible dub route. So, but let's continue hearing.
And it's not Funimation, I'll tell you that right now. And I come to you with this premise and story. It's already been done.
All right.
All you really need to do is just make a dub of it and put it out. So here's the basic premise. Oh, by the way, the name of the anime we're talking about today, and the one that I am presenting to you for review, is called Gakko no Kaidan, or Ghost Stories. And it's pretty straightforward. It's a paranormal anime, and the basic premise is this. Years ago, all of the ghosts in a haunted schoolhouse were banished by a certain student. Now they are back, and they want revenge. Satsuki and Keiichiro Miyanoshita are two siblings recovering from the tragic loss of their mother, and after moving to their mother's hometown, they learn that the local school they have transferred to is an old haunted building. Despite initially brushing off all of the silly hauntedness as a rumor, they soon discover that the ghosts are indeed real and that they are after them specifically. and thus the story of them trying to exorcise these old Japanese spirits in a variety of interesting and unique ways is the adventures in this show. Do you think you'd be able to do something with that, Rem?
Well, if in this circumstance, I might be cheating, little Sean, but I would say in this circumstance, I would probably burn the script that you provide me and just fucking wing it.
Oh, Rem, you already know about this show. No.
I know.
Rem, I've had this in my back pocket for 3 years, Rem.
All I know is that, to my understanding, the dub is an abomination upon man and God, and that's why people enjoy it.
You know, why am I even here? I mean, I spent, 3 years holding on to this one, waiting for just the right time to drop it. And this motherfucker already knows about it.
I've broken his heart. Well, yeah, because this is something. First of all, at this point, I've been unwillingly immersed into the anime community and milieu for like 3 years or some shit. Meanwhile, I feel like it somewhat transcends anime, and finally, even before we did the podcast, I feel like you've told me about this like on 2 separate occasions.
I mean, yeah, that's possible, but you have the memory of a goldfish, Rem. I figured you would have forgotten about it.
That's why all of those factors come into play, right? And so I don't know still any of the details. All I know is the hook of what the fuck is this dub.
I mean, yeah, I guess I can go into more detail.
He's so heartbroken right now. To our listeners, Sean is not like putting it on by any means. Sean is genuinely disappointed right now.
3 years, Rem. It was one of the first ones I wanted to do, but I thought, nah. Gotta save it for a special occasion.
Sean, you were so excited and so deflated.
I guess I can just tell you the basic premise of how this happened, and then we can get into it, but
I've broken the poor man's heart.
Can't we do something for me, Rem? Just once.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, wait. If I think I could do that, that sounds like a pretty easy thing to dub, Sean.
Don't patronize me, Rem. The only patrons I care about are the ones that support our podcast, you prick.
Oh, God. Oh. I'm sorry, I'm just so entertained because I think this may be the most, like, sincerely deflated and disappointed you've been on. It's either like this, the only part that comes close that I can think of is, like, Toradora Part 2. Like, this is matching those levels.
Yeah, no, that tracks. Or anytime you do a fucking April Fool's episode.
Hey. No, you secretly love those, though.
I don't think that's true in the slightest.
Deep down, you bitch and moan, but, like, deep down.
And who's the Sasuke of the two of us?
All right, so let's hear a little bit more about Ghost Stories, John.
Okay, so the actual Ghost Stories anime by itself was actually really bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it did not do well at all. Only had about 20 episodes, and in Japan, it just kind of tanked. So the license was, well, pretty cheap. And because it was so bad, when they sent it over for being dubbed, they only had about 2 or 3 rules in regards to the studio who dubs over it. First and foremost, you cannot change how the different spirits are exorcised because they're all based on different yokai of Japanese culture. So you don't want to ruin that cultural importance.
Sure.
You are not allowed to change the names of any character because back in the day that was a big problem. I mean, what are the main characters' names of Pokemon?
Well, of course you have Mr. Mime, the protagonist.
Mr. Mime.
And
he's the protagonist of the Pokemon series, is he?
the dashing protagonist. Then you have Bugcatcher.
Bugcatcher. You're gonna give him a name?
No, it's just Bugcatcher. I guess Bugcatcher Derek or some shit. You have a kid who's really excited about Rattata and shorts. Yeah, those are the main 3, and then they go on adventures. Bugcatcher Derek, Mr. Mime, and kid who gets real excited about Rattatas and shorts. Those three, they go on adventures.
You uncultured swine. That's youngster Joey.
Let's face it, though. You would watch that anime at least a few episodes.
I mean, yeah, probably. Especially because it could potentially have a more mature theme than the original Pokemon anime.
No, oh no.
And when I say mature, I meant directed at adults, not...
Yeah, I know.
okay.
Just with Mr. Mime, you
No,
know.
God, no, please, no. God, no. No, God, please. Also, apparently, supposedly the Mr. Mime in Ash, with Ash's mother is supposedly female. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. That's a blatant lie.
No, he's fucking Ash's mom, and she calls him daddy.
Yeah, but no, Ash's Japanese name is Satoshi, you know, Misty is Kasumi, and Brock is Takeshi.
Oh, but of
Yeah.
course.
So the point being, Rem, is that now that tangent's done with, the point is that the a lot of dubs tried to change the names because they're like, oh, good red-blooded American kids would never be able to say these weird Japanese names. So Satoshi,
Relatable.
that sounds like Ash to me. Let's change it to
It
Ash.
sounds exactly like it, 1-to-1.
Like they just Ellis Island all of the Japanese characters.
Oh, fuck.
And that was the other rule. And then the third rule is you can't really change the overall meaning of the episode, like the moral, because this is ultimately directed at a younger audience, much like Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Because it's a ghost stories, you know, anime, but it's also for kids, as a lot of anime were being over at the time.
And I mean, ghost stories have a long lineage tied with, like, morality tales and fables.
Yep.
A lot of the original ghost stories, they were just spooky fables. They were just spooky morality tales where it's like, oh yeah, so this person was too greedy, so fuck them.
Yes. And there was actually a fourth rule that I left out, or saved for last, you could say.
Have fun.
Actually,
The most important of all the rules.
Actually, Ram. Actually. The verbiage changes depending on which source you go to, but the general consensus is something along the lines of, do whatever else you want to make the show successful. So what we got was they gave the script to the guy, he looked at the script and was like, all right, threw it in a fire, and the vast majority of this dub is loosely written and ad-libbed by the voice actors.
I will say, I do look forward a little bit to this one, because I don't know exactly what to expect. I've heard there's a lot of, I guess I'm going to say hype, even though I don't know if that feels like the right word. There's a lot of hype around this show and this dub in particular, that I'm interested to see if it lives up to the legend.
Look, man, let me just put it to you this way. The original story is a, you know, non-offensive, kid, slightly horror show. That's what it's defined as genre-wise. With the dub, it's described usually as a black comedy.
Okay.
Because literally anything went for this dub. And some of the things that come out of these elementary school kids' mouths, it's pretty surreal, to say the least.
All right, well, you know, hey, I'm all in.
As you should be, because you already took the winds out of my sails, so...
Hey, man, the whole point of this podcast, or what we pretend is the point sometimes, depending on the week, is for me to learn about anime, for me to be cultured. Clearly, you can view this as a success because I'm learning beyond the podcast.
Yes, but you're
See?
choosing the weird, obscure shit to learn that doesn't really matter to the major cultural census.
I would argue that Ghost Stories dub is unironically, one of the most culturally relevant anime that we are covering on the entire podcast.
I mean, sure. And yet you hate, like, 80% of the other ones I've shown you, so, you know. I guess let's go...
Cultural relevance be damned.
I guess with that, let's go have some fun, or try to in my case, and watch some ghost stories.
Previously,
No, he's fucking Ash's mom, and she calls him daddy. I've broken the poor man's...
up next,
all culminating eventually into a
I don't know. I don't think you can say that, Reb. That's right, I said it. Come at me, Yokai Watch fans. All three of you.
now back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after watching 3 whole episodes of the disaster, but a beautiful disaster, that is Ghost Stories. And Remington, I can't describe to you exactly how dark things were gonna get, so why don't you tell us?
I've gone through a spiritual journey of sorts, Sean.
Yes.
And I suppose that the best way to describe it is just by jumping on in. We start episode 1, opens up with like an old man, spooky school. He gets fucked up in the spooky school. All right, cool. Cut to a happy little family. They're moving into a new town. Classic spooky trope. Family moving into a new neighborhood or new village that might have some spooky undertones going on, right?
Right.
Little did they know their dumbass cat thinks that the old haunted schoolhouse is a great place to go hang out. So they go.
Whoa! Are you just putting cats on blast right now?
You're damn right I am. And specifically my 2 cats. Fuck those guys. I love them, but dear God.
Toby and Diggs, if you're listening to this, fuck.
I love them at all times except 3 a.m, where they are literally the worst.
I mean, that's just when they're being the most affectionate, Rem.
Oh God. The brother and sister, they go to find the cat, right? Mm-hmm. They go into the schoolhouse. And they get shut inside the schoolhouse by the neighborhood pervert and his Jewish best friend. Those might sound like often these would be like Remington titles bestowed upon them. But no, these are their roles.
Yes.
This is just fundamentally who they are. We got one kid who's a pervert. He literally says giggity in this episode, which that's a fucking callback. Jesus Christ.
I mean, look, man, it was the year 2000. Times were different.
And his best friend is just a Jewish nerd, and that's it. So they quickly find a 5th member to join them, and that is a girl who's like creepily watching. As it turns out, this girl, you learn like she's very nonchalant, but also heavily Jesus freak. She steals the show. She's the best character. She's also, I think, the only character who's like consistently funny. Other characters can have some moments here and there, but she's hilarious all the time. And I think like a part of it is just how both nonchalant she is and how most of the time everyone else is also nonchalant. Like everyone's super casual about it. They'll just be walking down and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, have you accepted Jesus as your personal savior? Just wondering, just casual conversation." And they're like, "What?" And it's like, "All right, cool." No one really seems to mind that much, which I like. I just enjoy this weird as fuck dynamic that they've created with her. And so to sort of round out, then I've characterized 3 of the 5. You have the older sister character who's pretty standard. She's the only one who is more character than gimmick thus far, I guess. And then you have her little brother who, wow, Sean, season 1 of JoJo, what was the abomination upon God? Poco. This is Poco. A solid 50% of the time, he will literally speak in sobs and whines that we cannot discern, but the other characters do.
It's a bit like R2-D2.
Yeah, he's Poco R2-D2 is what we're getting at.
He makes noises, and it doesn't make sense to us, the audience. But very clearly, the people in universe are like, well, that makes perfect sense. I do believe in change in America. Thank you.
So they're looking around. They find creepy stuff like a creepy statue. At one point, they find a dog that's face turns into that of a man. And they find a creepy bathroom girl, motorcycle demon, all culminating eventually into a dwarf genie.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't think you can say that, Rem.
like fantasy dwarf genie. Fantasy dwarf genie. Also, if by now you're fucking lost, here's the amazing thing if you're lost at this point. I'm just talking about, like, the visuals mostly thus far, which has nothing to do with the crazy-ass dub. So imagine for a moment, the crazy-ass dub added on to all of these whack visuals. The dwarf genie, he grows, he starts attacking. Cool. Eventually, there's some things the siblings find their mom's picture and a secret witch book full of ways to handle the various demons. So to stop the dwarf genie, they create a magic circle, attempting to send the demon into the hills, but the hills are in construction, so instead, it goes into their cat.
Where else would you put the genie?
So that's episode 1. And I'll lay out my cards now. I would recommend episode 1. I do think that's probably enough. For reasons that we will get into. I think episode 1
Are you about to
give
crush
the
people's
experience.
hopes and dreams? Are you gonna stomp on the meme, Remington?
I do not think people should be emotionally invested into this show. I think this is a worthwhile meme that can last approximately 22 minutes. I think past that, the meme starts to get really old, and I'll explain why. So, episode 2 is all about a bathroom demon, right? Where you'll go to the bathroom and its hand will shoot up and it'll suck you into the toilet.
What? Now is it just me, or does that sound like a fun time?
It's a hell of a party, brother. So, there's some drama with the cat who's chilling as a cat and sort of has magical powers. Don't really worry about it. It's the cat, even though the cat is like the most important thing, it's also not important.
The magical talking cat that is possessed by a dwarf genie demon, you're telling me not to worry about that.
Yeah.
I worry about cats that are just normal.
You should worry about normal cats more than you do this cat.
I don't see how that checks out, Rem. I feel like this other cat should be more of a concern, shouldn't it?
Maybe. So the basic premise, I'll just run it by you. The toilets are possessed. You can only use the old haunted schoolhouse toilets. They go drama. They stop it. Cool. Pretty straightforward, right? Meanwhile, hell, let's quickly just go through the plot of episode 3 as well to just round things out. Because I'll be honest, the plot is it doesn't matter. So we'll just quickly, for those who care, finish off the plot of what we saw, and then we'll actually talk about what's worth discussing.
Right.
So for those who care, episode 3 then, there's some steps that grant wishes, but only related to a school play where the Jewish friend is an understudy, but when the lead role dies because of the mysterious steps and the wishes gone wrong, Jew kid, he takes over and he becomes a star. He gets a real big ego, but they have to stop him, otherwise the steps will kill everyone or some shit. Don't worry about it, that's it. Well, technically, they have to stop him because otherwise he would die, but also so would all of their problems, which already there's been multiple deaths, so maybe that's a worthwhile sacrifice. They don't think so.
I don't mean to bring up history or anything, Rem. But what you're suggesting isn't exactly original, let's say. Nor is it kosher.
I'm just saying there's a logical way of handling this, and I don't think they handle it the most logical way. All right, so that's the plot of the 3 episodes. There we go. We've covered that. Now let's talk about the list of reasons why this show is good and why 1 episode is definitely enough. Good God. So, it's a total meme. It's silly. It's over the top. The dialogue is irreverent and absurd. When you watch episode 1, you will understand what all the hype is about. It's a nice little fun dumpster fire, right? They make crazy decisions. They go balls to the wall. They go all in with it. It's a fun, silly time. As it goes on, you realize that they only have a handful of jokes. And while those could be silly the first time you see them, like, oh, ha, ha, oh, look at them being ridiculous. when that's all they have, once again, the exception being Jesus Girl. Jesus Girl, hilarious every time. She steals the show. Everyone else, less so. And let's just cover all the 5 main characters, shall we, Sean?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So you have the main girl, the older sister, right? She's fine. She's the straight man of the group, right? She has absurd moments, but is significantly less absurd than everyone around her. Then you have the little brother, Poco R2D2. It is funny and silly that, like, oh, he talks through sobs and whines and bullshit. But very quickly, he does just become Poco, and I hate Poco. So, like, usually he's annoying, but sometimes he's funny. So, hit or miss on him. You have Jesus Girl, she's great, 10 out of 10. You then have pervy neighbor who, ooh, boy. Oh, boy. So they're in 5th grade. They're...
Yes.
They're 12-year-olds, and this kid is talking all about how he wants to grope the big sister, making comments about a casting couch. He has a comment about having sex with his babysitter. There's lots of yikes. Lots of yikes. So once again,
really hate South Park.
There's some, well, I would argue it's a little bit different. But it's lots of yikes with him, and also just lots, even without the yikes, it's still a lot of cringe. Like, the jokes usually don't land with him. Definitely overstays its welcome. And it should be mentioned, with all of these characters, whatever I've described them as, that is their one joke. That is their sole exclusive joke that they have.
It's just the Jesus Girl is consistently funny.
It's just that her one joke works longer than the others. I am sure that I would get annoyed by her if I kept watching, but her joke at least lasts 3 episodes. Everyone else's only lasted 1. Finally, you have the Jewish nerd character. His thing is that he is Jewish. Which, okay, it gets a little weird at times. Like, when some kids start calling him a dreidel spinner as a pejorative. I don't know, man. It gets weird. I think it's... You know what? Here's what's going to figure out, like, how I feel about this show. What did this air on? What channel or network did Dub air on, Sean?
That would be...
If it was Adult Swim, then it makes it a bit less yikes. If it's on basically any other channel, then it's probably going to maintain its yikes status. I mean, either way, I think it's going to be a little bit yikes because I do not think the jokes were well crafted enough to not be at least a little bit yikes.
Looks like it only aired on now, from what I can tell. Oh wait, maybe is it still? Basically, an old Canadian pay television network, so like a DirecTV type of thing. Like the Anime Network is what it was called. So it was literally just a separate thing you could pay a little extra. Not even. Let's see. Yep.
That's sounding like it's still in yikes territory.
I don't know, man. Like everything's fair game when it's to like on-demand HBO style stuff.
I mean, sure. But I also just don't think it's the same fucking jokes. And then they do have one more joke that isn't like character based, right? And that joke is referencing pop culture. Now you might think, do I mean making jokes around pop culture? No, I mean referencing pop culture. They'll be like, hey, listen here, insert relevant actor, actress, celebrity name.
Oh god, and relevant in the year 2000 isn't exactly relevant anymore, is it?
Yeah, it's very dated, where it's like, even in the time, you're not making jokes. You're just saying names that people recognize. It's like, oh, okay, the Jewish kid wants to be an actor. So if we call him by an actor's name, get it? Because that's a celebrity actor. Okay, sure. There are some little humorous bits. Usually, the bits that have nothing to do with the main characters are the funniest. Like episode 1, when they see a dog that's face turns into a person's face and the dog's just like, who are you calling a dog? Fucking hilarious. Great moment. Meanwhile, like some of the side characters, really funny, really humorous. but the main characters really hit or miss, and I think usually miss.
Huh. So what you're saying is that this meme of a show is really great as a meme, but watching all 20 episodes is a bit much.
Yeah, I would not recommend that. Like, just watch the first episode. You'll get the meme, you'll get a few laughs. Genuinely, you do not need to see any more.
Hell, I'd even argue that you could just watch the 30-minute compilation of the best jokes on the YouTubes and you'd get it pretty quick.
Oh, okay. If that's an option, I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah. You just search the Ghost Stories dub, and there's like a bunch of people who compile a bunch of the jokes from all the episodes, and there's one that's like 30 minutes long, and it's just joke after joke after joke after joke after joke. And since they don't make sense in context, they're funny out of context.
Let me put it this way. The Ghost Stories dub is peak early comedy YouTube. Now that has some positives, and you'll feel some nostalgia in the style of comedy if you watched early comedy YouTube. But all of the cons and all of the negative and downsides that go with early comedy YouTube. Yep.
Oh god, I'm having flashbacks to the very first abridged episodes, Remington. I know you didn't see some of the early abridged stuff. We'll cover it eventually, but man oh man, early anime abridged comedy could be a bit hit or miss, to say the least.
I was gonna say, this feels a lot like just something that a few friends did in their basement.
It is very much its own abridged series is the kind of
yes
thing.
yes I think that's actually a good way of putting it. Ghost Stories dub is just one of the first abridged series that didn't go by that name, and that's
yeah, it was an abridged series before a bridge series, really, because I think like some of the first big bridge series came out in like 2007, 6, something like that.
But if you want an abridged series, just watch the SAO abridged series, which is like the only one I've seen.
It is very good. It is
a good one.
Much better than SAO, funnily enough.
So much better, and better than the Ghost Stories dub. So is it worth the meme? Sure, a little bit.
That's it? That's the end of the thought?
Yeah.
You're not going to expound on that more? It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this nice big intro and preamble to my final thoughts. Here it is. Done. Let's go.
Enough?
That's it?
I don't know what more there is to say, Sean. I've covered everything in this show already.
It's only been like 20 minutes, lad. Not counting the stuff that Dylan's probably going to cut out because sometimes we're just not funny.
I know, Sean. I get it. Let's face it. If you saw this pop up on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you see, oh, Anime Context, they did Ghost Stories dub. Oh, that'll be interesting. I know about Ghost Stories dub. I know the meme. If you went into this thinking, oh, I cannot wait to hear how they analyze the depth, the symbolism of the Ghost Stories dub, I can't wait till they place this into the artistic canon of anime. Like, if that was what you were expecting, then I guess I'm sorry. But I feel like that's equally on you.
It's almost like it's hard to critically analyze something that was not meant to be critically analyzed at all. Like, I don't know, taking a very mediocre anime and dubbing it over with 90% bad improv.
Yeah, like, it's an experience, but it's not one that you need to consume hours of. And I'm sure that there's a few people out there who are like, hey man, I binge watched all 20 episodes with my friends and we found it the funniest shit ever. And to those people I say, hey, we're an explicit podcast. You need to be 18 or older to listen.
Oh god, is this where the kids would say got him? I think that's where the kids would say got him. I don't know. They have to say it to themselves because I don't understand it.
Oh god.
Well, I suppose, Rem, then we should cut it off here. The final question I have to ask you is, any chance you'd want to watch some more Ghost Stories dub with me?
Maybe a highlight reel, but
I can recommend the highlight reel. The highlight reel is probably your best bet, man. Look, as someone who sat through all 20 episodes, the highlight reel is the best bet. Go for the highlight reel.
oh man.
And with that, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed our mad ramblings, no matter how short, then please head on over to whatever platform you listen to your podcasts on and leave us a review. Whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify. And word of mouth is a great way for us to grow as well. And if you'd like to help support us even more directly, as well as gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus content, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you can also have the opportunity to listen to Remington horribly mispronounce your name and or apparently phrase, because that has become more and more popular as these episodes have been going on.
We have very few names at this point.
And a lot of VTuber references that just go over poor Remington's head, and I just have to debate whether or not it's worth telling him whether or not it's a VTuber reference.
It's hard for me to tell. Well, anyway, we would like to thank all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on up, we reach Yandere Waifu, who make a wish on the stairs for either our hearts or our literal hearts. And on that list, we have, yo, can we get an Hey Yugs shirt, please? Maybe. Yamate Kudasai, week 1 of jokes. What's a weeb's favorite month? Anime. Hi, get it. Juliana, totally God. The world shall know propane. That guy that makes you say cunt on your podcast. Snap Snips. Sean Oni-chan Baka Uwu. Seon, Evangelion is trash, get over it. Scoopy Loopy Boopy Doopy Hoopy Goopy Oopy. Saying Joey Wheeler, my drill is drilling. I'm so sorry. Hey Yugs, my drill is the drill that creates the heavens. I lose a little bit of Joey every single impression.
Eventually, it's just gonna be you. It's just gonna be you saying things in with a Brooklyn dialect, not even an accent,
Hey,
just in the
Yugs.
order of words.
Sarah Birch, Salty Pretzel, Sequoia Faye, Reverse Gizmo, Remington Merrill, Remington is not a man of culture, Foxin' Boy, Redneck Weeb, Ready to be Isekai'd, put out merch already, I want reasons to give you money, Mahu no Pug Tears, Lonely Geek 23, Kitty, Kazu Morocco, Jax, Jacob Livingston, Jack 254, Ichigo Simp 015, H-Wood, hey Rem, how you feel about watching videos of bugs eating each other to stop your horniness? Pardon me? Hanekawa, Glenn Michael Dolan,
We were talking
Ghostly
about VTuber
Bishi.
references.
Motherfucker. The Corpse Party OVA is trash, please play the game. Dylan, please insert a foghorn here. Devin McCutcheon, Darth Pikachu, Darksworm 713, Danny Morabito, Cynical Witch, Christian Crawford, Cheese Monkey, Brent Adams, Ariel Bird, Apostle of the Church of Remington, Anime Duck, Andrew Sinclair, Andrew Rauke, Elise Howard, Alexander Nasi, and Senyo. Thank absolutely every single one of you. You all are fantastic. But there's more. We go to the Boy Wizard tier representing Hogwarts. And it's only fitting that we do ghosts. Now, Sean, you might say, but Remington, haven't you done ghosts before? Maybe. I might have, Sean. I'll be honest, I don't remember anymore.
We're running 150 episodes, so it would make sense.
I'm going to try to do weird ghosts. Just weird, but technically confirmed ghosts. So
In the Harry
Brown
Potter
Mamba,
universe or in general?
in the Harry Potter universe, of course, Sean. That's the whole point.
I
So,
see.
the Brown Mamba, you are getting gloomy nuns.
I'm sorry.
They are gloomy nuns.
Don't...
That is what they are titled on the wiki. I have no more information for you.
I loved it when they opened for Ghost back in 2012, you know? That was a really
Spicy
good
Log
show.
Horizon is one of the best written isekai. Use the BS rule hot take. You are going to get Edgar Clogs.
You know, I had him for third period English, and I just feel like he wasn't very good at it, you know?
Rare Anata no Sogu Soba ni Iro Yo Kima Mana Tenchi Tachi Kumiko. You are going to get Knight with an arrow sticking out of his forehead.
The oldest joke in the book.
Pilkster the Symphogear advocate, you're getting Duncan Ash. There you go.
I can't wait till he gets back on the Chicago Bulls. I mean, his hiatus has been going on for far too long.
MT the Poet, you are getting Cuthbert Binns.
I don't even have a joke for that one. That one's just funny.
Miguel De Leon, you are getting Unidentified Ghosts from the Lego Harry Potter series.
I wish I can
Lolicon John,
aspire to being the...
Cell Block Me, you are getting Horatio Cloak.
See that?
That's a nice name, at least.
I mean,
I
yeah.
call Bone Drew Daddy. You are getting Erling.
Fucking Erling.
Fucking
Shove his
Erling.
ass in a locker.
Enrique Perez Torres, you are getting Unidentified Ghost Horse from the Lego Harry Potter game. Oh, God. And finally, Dedicated Sadist, you are getting the Portly Ghost.
I think that's just what we call me Nan when she leaves from Thanksgiving.
All right, but we move on. We reach the Chef No Musco, Corey in the house tier, and everyone is going to get, very fittingly, their own yokai. Do I know the yokai? Nope, but I will read their names to you.
Yeah, careful you don't end up on like the Yokai Watch wiki, because that might confuse you more than help.
I don't understand.
Think Pokemon, but ghosts and not as good. That's right, I said it. Come at me, Yokai Watch fans. All three of you.
All right, cool. So first we have Zachary Shirley was referencing what you thought I was referencing, and I subscribe. You are going to get Obake. They're shapeshifters or something.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, Rem. Most yokai are shapeshifters.
Son of a bitch. Uncreative Cretin, you are gonna get Kappa, so you get Bowser but uglier.
Damn, dude.
Silicon Spectre, you are going to get Yanari. The literal translation is house squeaker.
Isn't that what you call your girlfriend?
Oh God. We have Amoto Aiga Rem Oni-chan Baka. You're getting a Yamaba who looks like a witchy hag type deal.
Yeah, that's basically that.
Oh, okay, cool. And last but not least, we have my actual mother.
God.
Yes. My actual mother has started listening to the podcast and has decided to very kindly patronize us. I'm going to try to convince her not to. Both not to listen and not to keep giving us money. If you're listening to this, Mom, thanks. I don't know what I've said on this podcast.
There's a reason I specifically made an episode where we censored out most of the bad shit so that my mother could listen to it and decide whether or not she thinks what I do is worthwhile. To be determined on that. She did, in fact, move out of the state shortly after listening to it, so I honestly don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah. My mom, she's gonna get a Sukamagami, which...
Sukamagami.
It's a weird... It's like a mimic, but fucked up, is what I've gathered. So, thank everyone.
I can't wait till we get to do an anime with a lot of actual yokai in it, and I have to actually go into detail as to what these are and how horrible your pronunciations are.
If you would like to contact us, whether it's for comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can either tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com, where, if you email starting with hello podcasters, or to whom it may be concerned, you're going in the spam folder, just so you know.
We've gotten a lot of those lately, especially the ones that have been like, hey, we hear you could use an editor.
like if you want to offer your services or reach out to us or have a collab or something, listen to one of our episodes. Dear Remington and Sean, come on now. It's not that hard.
We're happy to do collabs, and if you want to give us money to talk about your product, we might be willing to do that too. But you gotta actually know what we're about, man.
Bare minimum effort. Anyway.
And with that, friends, thank you all so much for tuning in, and as always, don't fuck your sister. Oh, that's a penis.